Before you scroll away, let me ask you something. What would you do if you walked onto a billionaire's mansion and saw your wife's photo hanging on the wall like a priceless treasure? Would you run a broken bar, or would you demand the truth? Stay with this story until the very end, because what unfolds will change everything you think you know about love, loss, and destiny. And if stories like this touch your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps these stories reach souls who need hope today. The rain had soaked through Daniel Harper's thin jacket by the time he reached the iron gates of the mansion. He stood there, a poor single dad with tired eyes and a small backpack slung over one shoulder, holding the hand of his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. Her fingers were cold, but she didn't complain. She never did. Daniel had taught her early how to be strong, the same way life had forced him to be strong since the night his wife disappeared 5 years ago. Emma had kissed Lily goodnight, whispered "I'll be back soon," and left for what she said was a short humanitarian photography assignment overseas. She never came back. No body, no official confirmation, just silence. Eventually, the world moved on. Daniel didn't. He worked double shifts as a warehouse loader, skipped meals so Lily could eat, and learned how to braid hair with shaking hands on school mornings. Every night, Lily asked the same question. "Pepe, a broken bar, do you think Mama remembers us?" And every night, Daniel smiled and said yes, even when his heart felt like it was breaking apart. That morning, everything changed because of a newspaper. Daniel had found it crumpled on a bus seat, the kind of paper rich people read. Inside was a feature on a reclusive billionaire named Alexander Crown, one of the youngest self-made tycoons in the world. The article showed photos of his mansion, marble halls, towering windows, walls decorated with rare art and photography from around the globe. Daniel almost turned the page a broken bar until he froze. There, on the wall behind Alexander Crown, was a photograph Daniel knew better than his own reflection. It was Emma. Not just any photo, one Daniel himself had taken years ago, on a cheap camera, during a picnic by the lake. Emma was laughing, sunlight tangled in her hair, her eyes full of life. That photo had disappeared the same night she vanished. Daniel's hands shook so badly the paper nearly tore. For days, he told himself it had to be a coincidence, someone who looked like her, a similar smile. But deep down, he knew. A husband always knows. That's how he ended up at the gates of the mansion, security guards watching him like he didn't belong in this world, to which, truthfully, he didn't. "I just need to ask him one question," Daniel said quietly. "Please." The guards laughed at first. Then Lily stepped forward, clutching her small backpack. "Sir," she said softly, "my papa just wants to know why my mama's picture is in that house." Something in her voice, a pure, honest, unafraid, made one of the guards hesitate. After a tense phone call, they were escorted inside. The mansion was unreal. Lily's eyes widened at the chandeliers, the long hallways that echoed with their footsteps. Daniel felt small, invisible, angry. Every step fueled the storm inside his chest. And then he saw it again. Emma's photo, bigger this time, framed in gold, hanging in the center of the main hall like it was sacred. Daniel couldn't stop himself. "Why is my wife's photo in your mansion?" he demanded, his voice breaking the silence. Alexander Crown turned slowly. He was calm, composed, dressed in a tailored suit, but when his eyes landed on Daniel, something flickered. Shock, recognition, guilt. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then Alexander did something no one expected. He sat down. "Because," he said quietly, "your wife saved my life." Daniel felt the room spin. Alexander began to speak, and with every word, the truth poured out like a wound finally opened. 5 years ago, Alexander had been traveling through a war-torn region under a false name, trying to negotiate secret humanitarian quarters. He was kidnapped, left for dead. The world thought he was missing, too. Emma was there as a volunteer photographer, documenting the crisis no one wanted to see. When she found Alexander, bleeding and barely alive, she hid him, treated his wounds, and helped him escape. But there was more. "Your wife was fearless," Alexander said, his voice heavy. "She documented crimes powerful people wanted buried. She refused to stay silent." Daniel whispered, Where is she? Alexander's eyes lowered. She went into hiding. Not for herself, for you, for Lily. Emil had uncovered evidence implicating international figures in war crimes. When threats came, Alexander used his resources to protect her, but disappearing was the only way to keep her family safe. The photo in the mansion wasn't decoration. It was a reminder, a debt, a promise. She made me swear, Alexander continued, that one day, when it was safe, I would reunite her with you. Lily stepped forward, tears streaming down her face. Is my mama alive? Alexander nodded. That was the moment Daniel fell to his knees. Weeks later, in a quiet coastal town, Daniel stood on a wooden pier, Lily's hand trembling in his. A woman walked toward them, older, thinner, but with the same eyes. Mama, Lily whispered. Emma ran. They collided in a storm of tears, laughter, apologies, and love that refused to die. Years of pain didn't vanish, but they finally made sense. Alexander Crown didn't just disappear from their lives after that. He funded Daniel's education, helped him open a small community center for struggling families, and ensured Emma's work reached the world safely. Not for publicity, for justice. The unbelievable part wasn't the mansion, or the billionaire, or the secrets. It was the struggle. Kindness echoes. Love survives. And even when life breaks you, it can still lead you home. If this story moved you even a little, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. You never know who needs to hear that hope isn't lost, it's just waiting to be found.